Good afternoon. My name is Luvini Ranasinghe, Head of Communications at Interpeace. Could you please introduce yourselves to us?
Yeah, my name is Elsa Barron, and I'm a research fellow at the Center for Climate and Security and a program analyst at the Institute for Climate and Peace.
Lovely meeting you here today on the day one of Geneva Peace Week 2022. We are facing unprecedented global crisis today, and there's never a better moment than today to talk about peace and the fact that peace should be possible and peace is possible, the theme of Geneva Peace Week 2022. Could you please tell us why you're here today at Geneva Peace Week? What are you expecting out of this 5 days conversation? And of course, your part, the part you're playing as a global citizen in building peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I work on issues of climate change and environmental degradation, which I think are one of those unprecedented risks that you mentioned, posing a massive challenge and threat to peace. And I think the reality is that climate change is threatening livelihoods on planet Earth, life and livelihood. And anything that threatens life on Earth is inherently a threat to peace and security worldwide. And so I think what I'm anticipating out of these conversations, which some are focused on environmental and climate impacts, while others are focused on various other threads, is hopefully an interweaving of these different subjects together, and the reality that in 2022, we live in a very interconnected world, and our decisions on one side of the planet impact communities on the other side. And that is really the foundation of building peace for the future. And so I think how I see my role as someone who researches climate change and environmental peace building, but also as a young person who's involved in activism with youth and faith communities, is very much in kind of tying these threads together and bridging the gap between local action and kind of global dialogue and action and governance, and really trying to emphasize the reality that security and peace are not possible without a foundation of human security that is reliant on a sustainable planet for human communities and ecosystems and the way that they're all connected.
This is very interesting what you're saying. I mean, your answer begs a next question, which is you very nicely put together that today's conflicts, so today's problems we face are multidimensional, so that the solutions we are going to find should be multidimensional. It cannot be siloed. So could you a little bit explain to us the research you do in climate change and how climate change and the research in climate change and making sure that we treat this, we've been talking about climate change for decades. Yeah. However, this is a crisis and we don't call climate change a crisis. How urgent it is for us today to make actions for solutions of tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you say today, because we have been talking about climate change for decades and it's often been posed as a future problem. But this year we've seen unprecedented current climate impacts that communities are facing. And we see how those climate impacts exacerbate existing insecurities or tensions or vulnerabilities. And that's really what I do as a research fellow at the Center for Climate and Security, is looking at those intersections, at those risks, and how everything is multiplying on each other and they're not independent. And so we often bring together professionals from different sectors, whether that be security experts or humanitarian interveners or peacebuilding practitioners, to have these conversations rooted in examples that are actually happening in actual communities on the ground. And I think that the way forward is exactly that, in integrated solutions, integrated governance, global conversations that really acknowledge the real risk facing communities today, and then the reality that if we don't kind of clean up the house in terms of climate change, it's going to become increasingly more difficult to respond to all sorts of conflicts, disasters, and other challenges in the future.
Thank you so very much. I wish you a very pleasant Geneva Peace Week. All the best to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.